Everyone, welcome back. And Illustrator. Actually, we're going to make two gears. We're going to make this one where on the inner and thinner on the outer on the spokes. Well, different there, but there's a lot about them that are the same. Step, I'm going to hide these gears so you don't see them. We're going to start 5 inches. Make sure both your width and your height is. So what's going on here is, and I didn't realize, when I click that, now we've got a broken chain and we're good to go. Because what we're going to be doing is making a copy of the circle. Command or Alt 4.5. What I want to do, just so I don't unintentionally select this outer circle, because right now it for anything other than a guide, so I know where the because it'll be good for you to know. Is we're going to go up to View, go down to see where it says Make Guide. I'm going to select that. Guide now. It's not going to go anywhere. What I did was lock it, go into guides, and locking all guides. But I don't need to do that. I'm not going to worry. I'm going to copy that, paste in front. We're going to build the. So I'm going to try to keep this nice and clean. And it's going to make things, to me, I think it looks nicer. So I'm going to go ahead, whatever. It basically punches a hole. It's going to be the one that's on top, which is going to be the punch out. The one underneath, we're going to paste again that circle, which I believe on Windows it'll be Command and Shift. I'm big on nice clean numbers, so I'm going to change that to 1.5. So I'm going to go to the line tool, select that, and draw a line. So I'm going to tap here. What happened, I'm going to select in our alignment here, we're going to hit line center, and then we're going to align the line tool, and we're going to go ahead and go to you should see the rotation tool above it. So click create an angle. And if we hit preview 15, and that'll give me pretty much what I want. 15 degrees above the straight line here. That, as long as you have, we'll remove the negative here and just make it a positive. Now that's given me a nice, paste that in front. I'm going to just rotate that. What I was doing is holding the shift key, select both objects. What I want to do is select everything. And I'm going to put, anyways. Shift M brings me into this, you'll see the highlighted, you'll see this line. What I want to do is carry that line, all these points, make sure everything, and bring me back to the selection tool. Nicely. Actually, yeah. And what we can do is go ahead and, that's a mouthful. Or we can just double click, make sure you touch every one of these white areas here, which is the cut. Direct select tool. Yeah, you can either go to see this little icon here. You have your point, and then you have this little selection tool, and then we moved over to the direct select. So at this point, if you were making, so now let's get out of this compound path. Excuse me. So now, I'm going to create a circle. So I'll go back to what I want to do here. I want to give myself another center cutout. All right, so click once here to align to. Want to make sure is we have key object selected, because we don't want this gear. So right now we got just, if I hit, I'm going to go ahead and go up here. We're going to make this our key object by just clicking on it once. Now we can just shift key, and the nice clean numbers. Just when you're doing things, I'm going to copy that just so I have it. Make sure this circle here is above the. Next step here is to I'm not going to worry about tool. Carry it out, and we're going to just draw a rectangle. There you go. Do here, we're going to carry that down, and I'm going to again make it here is this outer guideline. So I'm going to go ahead and do align perfectly with the gear. Again, select it, then click on So you know that's the key object. And then align, hit that. Now what we're going to do is something, before we do that, I want to do is create this straight line. See, there would have been a different, I would have done this a different way. I would have drawn had that cut out. And then, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and go over to this neat little, and you see the icon, it's a pet, looks like it doesn't have to be perfect. Click up here, as long as the square is selected. Here, now you get this beautiful curve here. What I want to do here is select the 2 points at the bottom, and what I want to do next is that line. You can select the point up here. Well, go ahead and select that, and then, or if you don't want to do that, you can always go up here. If you get back, you get to the anchor tool. Now you want to make sure the way. All right, so now let's turn again. That gives us that nice beveled edge, and that's perfect. So let's select that cube, which is now no longer a cube, it's a rectangle. Now we have one tooth that's perfectly aligned to the center. All right, now the second tooth, and we want that perfectly in line. Now we'll zoom in on this one so we can use our guideline. And if you hit E, we're touching that line there, and we can even double check on the top to align to that, group them. This is the only reason why we're doing it this way is without putting something in the center. To do this, that the hit A, and we'll select this. That it's just going to be a simple marker. What we want to do, is make sure this is. I don't care about the size of this box, because in the end it's just going to get deleted here because I want this point, and we're going to go in and select here is center, where is what I need it to be. Now click off that, allow me to do, you'll see in a minute why I needed to do here, like I would like to do. There are other options I'm about to show you, but I think in this case we're going to do it this way. In the next gear I will to effects, go to this, it's fun. Oh, but do, so you see what you're doing. So let's do that again. Get this really cool cool pop-up box. The rotation tool. This is just going to give me, because what we can do is we have scale if I wanted to, and then we have point of origin. We see what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and put a number of copies. Say we're going to do. Now you see things are starting to move around. We go ahead and tell it bottom center. Now we got certain things are different, but that would have the same effect. Manner. So I'm going to, as you can see, the scale as it increases, rotation is changing based off of the scale. We have the move tool, which is fun because again, it's object to the next object. So rotating around in a circle. And oh, honestly, 11, and that's actually perfect. So if I click on reflect X, it's only going to do some strange stuff. Needed to be done with it, but there's a few other things I'd like to do. If I needed to change the number of teeth, I can do that. Expand that object. Now that these are all individual pieces, using the direct select, we can just delete all my teeth are selected. Make sure my you can go ahead and do it and move this over because you want, obviously, what's fun is select everything and scale this up. Here, we just double click inside the group. Go ahead and select that group. Anyways, we can change the gear probably to 0.6 because teeth to match up with our original gear. Now make sure our teeth are selected and as you see on that gear. So go ahead and click on the transform, say 20, but watch what happens. Oh, preview, sorry. There you go. Match up anymore. No big deal. Just go ahead and go back into our group. Boom. Now we have a second gear into one. Sorry. We need to expand our second gear. That's similar to the first. There you go. 2 perfect gears, pretty quick to make. Tutorial. Look forward to going over that. You can utilize a lot of these tools to truly expand on what you can do, like add a pattern into them, to go into the 3D, and then we can go. That brings up this here. Again, literally going to start building a 3D gear. A classic bevel, for example. Now, but unfortunately, I'm using a little bit of a slow computer for, and again, and then we can again go back to make sure preview's on, and then where it says no shading, shading a lot of points. There you go. Now you have a 3D gear, and it's something fun to do. Nature. Well, that's one way to get one of those in t-shirt designs and doing things of that nature as far as the 3D goes. So face. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is part 2 of how to create a gear in Illustrator. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just start with a whole blank screen. As you see, there's nothing much different than from last time around. Alright, what we're going to do here, we're going to again start with an ellipse tool. Just click, bring up our little dialog box, and then what we're going to do is we're going to specify a size. Again, I like working with clean numbers. I'm going to just quickly color this gear so we can see what we're working with on this. Alright, center this on the page somewhat. Not necessary. Alright, at this point I'm going to again copy, paste in front, and we'll scale this down a touch, obviously. I'm going to go 3.5. Maybe not 3.5. Let's do 4. Yeah, that's nice. Alright, I'm going to copy that again, paste in front again. And we're going to, again, shrink that down. Let's do 1 inch. Yeah, that looks good to me. That's going to give me this huge amount of empty space. And then we're going to copy this again and paste in front. I know. Crazy, isn't it? Alright, now that we have those all set, I'm going to select the first 2 that I did. I'm going to go back to our Pathfinder and boom, just like we did before. Again, boom, just like we did before. Alright, now the next step is we're going to create a triangle, go from here to here. But what I'm going to do is we're going to start from the center and go up. Now what we want to do is go over here to our shape tool. Go down to the polygon tool. Just click again. What we want to do is make sure we have 3 sides. Hit OK. Boom. Now that gives us a nice triangle. I wasn't too worried about the dimensions just yet. I'm going to just make it at 0.75. And I'm going to just make a quick duplicate by pressing down the Option key on a Mac. Not 100% sure what it is on a PC, but I'm pretty sure they do have that capability as well. If it's Option, more than likely it's Control, I'd say. Alright, now we're going to take this triangle and we're just going to eyeball this one. Not too big of a deal. Drag this all the way down till you hit the center mark. As you can see with the smart guides, you are lined up. You'll see it turn green. That little icon, little dot in the center there, you'll see it turn green. And then at that point you can let it go. Now the other thing I want to do is zoom out a little bit. I think this base is a little too wide, I want to say. So I'm going to kind of reduce this just a touch. And that looks pretty good to me. Now let's select everything and make sure everything's centered on this way. So everything's in the center. Now I'm going to select this. Alright, here's something we've already done with the last gear. It is pretty straightforward. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So, again, distort and transform. Go ahead and go down to transform. And basically, we can ignore most of them. And we're going to set the degrees. Well, let's do 30 to start off with. Let's add a couple copies to see where that looks like. Alright, again, we got to make sure that our reference point is towards bottom center. And I'll carry that all the way through. And we can actually keep bringing this up, even the numbers up, until we have what we like. So 5, let's do 10, 12, and 12 brings you right back to where you want it to be. So we can get away with just doing 11. Nice. So that looks perfect. Now we can select the top triangle, and we're going to have to do the same thing as we did before. So I'm just going to be lazy, and I'm going to just carry this up. Now let's see, what's our height on this? I want the height to be at 0.5, and I think I'm going to do the same for the width as well, so we get a nice tooth. What I want to do here is then line this up right at the top, and then there's a couple different ways to do this next step. I like doing it this way, and the reason why I like doing it this way, I just have a little bit more control over it. So rotate it, pull this down, bring it down. Now you're just going to make sure this sits exactly in the same spot as the other one. Select the two, let's group them. And what I want to do is, I should have done this already and I didn't think of it, but that's okay, no big deal. Just select the two tips here, go down to the corner, this little icon here, and let's just make a little turn. Not much, just a small one. There we go, perfect. Now let's select this, and we're going to go back to effects. We're going to just go apply transform. Alright, I know that looks really weird right now, but we'll be fixing that shortly. All we need to do, go to our appearance palette, go ahead and go to the effects, transform, and come down here too, and I'm going to change our reference point back to center. Hit preview, boom. Now, you can use this as at this point, there's like wheels that you can do and things like that, like spiked wheels. That at this point, that's what you got. Now, what I want to do instead of a spike wheel, this is a gear, so I want to make sure these are all a lot closer. So definitely not going to be 30 degrees. Let's move this over to 10. As you can see, that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and add more 20. That works for me. That looks perfect. And there you go. I'll get a nice gear with a triangular tooth instead of a square tooth. And our center spokes are thicker at the base, going to the top. Now, at this point, this is totally and completely manipulable and controllable at that aspect. So I want to just make sure I keep a copy, an active copy, just for my own sanity if I need to scale and stuff like that, but I want the teeth to stay the same. That will allow me to do so. So let's take this and shift this over and making a duplicate. Again, what I'm doing is I'm holding down Option and Shift at the same time, which would be Control and Shift on the PC. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this copy here and we're going to go ahead and go to Object and expand it out. So now everything, the effect's gone, it's a number of objects, and I want to do is I'm going to compress it in a second, but first and foremost what I want to do is get that circle back that I can't see because of the triangles. Which is okay. Just hit Command or Alt Y, and that'll bring you to a wireframe mode. You can then see the inner circle here, and then you can just select it, copy that, or Command or Alt X to cut it out, and then hit Command Y again to bring you back to your normal view. And what we can do now at this point is select everything once again, get out of our little selection group, select it, and go back to our Pathfinder tab and just hit flatten. And then we can go ahead and paste our circle back on top. And now we're going to do a couple little things here that are going to be that we need to do here. Go back, right click, and release Pathfinder. What that does is remove this circle from it. So I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to select this circle again, and I'm going to remove the color and just keep the outline. So how did I did that so quickly? It was through pressing the slash key. Now we're going to paste in front that circle again, and we're going to select our gear object. And then we're going to go back to our Pathfinder and then hit this button here. We'll right click, go to arrange, and send that back. Now you have this, now we can take this lovely circle here and start making it just look separate areas. So we can go ahead and expand that out, make the line a little thicker if you want, then doesn't matter at this point. This is all aesthetic and depends on how you want things to look. So I'm going to copy this again, paste in front, and I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. And I'm going to carry this completely out in front there, and I'm going to change my stroke thickness to probably 2 or 3. Now let's do 3. I think that 3 will look good. So copy that again, paste in front, and bring that down. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take these two, I'm going to combine them. Now, whoops, I'm not going to do it. I meant to, this button here. Just cut a hole in there, so when I hit Shift X, I get this. I'm going to sample this red color, and what we're going to do is go to our color palette and just make it a little darker, just to give it a little bit of depth. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you all liked it. Please, if you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment, please do so. Thanks again for watching.